Yay! Can you see me? Oh, it's connected to, okay.
Hello.
Shalom.
Hello.
Yay! It worked. Okay, so well, where'd your face go?
I don't know. I didn't do it. Oh, my camera. Hold on. There we go.
Okay. Technology, I tell you. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sister Sisi, and this is WONI Community Focus. And I am joined today by my sister Keturah. How are you?
Shalom, everybody.
Yes. So you are not in the U.S. Where are you?
I'm in Belize.
You're in Belize. Now, before we even get started, we got to know about that because you know some of us are not happy in this United States, and we want to know about some foreign stuff like
The United States of America.
America. Yes. How did you get over there?
So, long story short, my husband found out about Belize because we had never heard of it. They were like, Belize, and we're like, what is that?
Right.
From some brothers that were with GOCC, and they were planning on coming here. So they're not here, but we are. So my husband kind of got his wheels going, and initially we were looking at buying land out in California, San Diego initially.
Uh-huh.
And we weren't happy with that choice, but at the time, you know, it's all we could really figure out that was going to work. We were going to go buy land in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
But still the laws of America are that, you know, at any point in time they can come and take your land, or they can claim landowners' rights or whatever.
Right.
So when we found out Belize, it was perfect. And, you know, the doors kind of started opening, and things kind of started, you know, becoming available to us. And so we decided to move here. Some of the reasons why we decided to move here is because it's slower pace. So it's a third world country. That doesn't mean everybody lives in stick huts and mud houses. Some people do live in shacks, but you know, it's, you know, developing nation, and it's slower pace. The children say yes, ma'am, and no, sir, and they're polite, and everybody says hello when you walk down the street. They're not completely absorbed with consumerism. The police brutality. I won't say that there's not police brutality here, because I think people abuse power everywhere, but it's not race-based police brutality. It's just abuse of authority.
Okay.
Like, for instance, my son took a toy gun to school, and he came home alive, and he came home fine. And the result was the teacher said, if you want your toy gun back, your mom's got to come back and get it. There wasn't, the police weren't called, you know, it just
didn't get shot.
Right, exactly. All of that didn't happen. And my mom, she was here at the time, and she like broke down in tears, like just trying to explain to him why those things aren't okay. But at that point in time, it really hit me, you know, like there's no school shootings here. Like the things, the dramas, the psychosis of America don't exist here. They're the things, not to say that we don't have problems, there's not issues, but the things that we experience here, or our problems here, are completely different than in the US. Like there's a guy that comes around and sprays pesticides for mosquitoes. And it's like a love-hate relationship, because it stinks and you don't like it, and you run around your house closing all your windows when he comes. But if he doesn't come, the mosquitoes is tearing you up. So it's kind of like, you know, but those are our concerns. Those are the things that, you know, my children worry about. So it's been a blessing by far. You know, we're out of the rat race, well, to a certain extent. My children have a yard to play in now. They run around, they're free. Like a lot of my family was concerned when we first moved here, when we first told them we were going to Belize. So like, you're going to where? A third world country? Oh my God, you're gonna die. You're not gonna have a phone. You're not gonna have electricity and running water. And you know, they were doing that whole thing. But when they came here finally and they saw the children, they were like, they are so happy. They're like, almost like the weight was off of all of us, not just them, you know, all of us. So that's
how long have you been there?
Going on 4 years. February 12th will be 4 years.
Okay, perfect. So let's get into the business of it, because like that's a business within itself. Like people are looking to get out of the United States. So you and your husband totally could put something together for people to understand how to leave the United States and be prepared to live in a third world country. You could totally put that package together. I'm ready to buy it, okay? Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about it. People have asked about, me looking into land for them, and I'm available to do it. People ask me questions. I give them, my advice to the best of my ability. My experience is just that, my experience. I'm not going to say that, my experience is unanimous. There are some things that are pretty much universal here, like immigration sucks for everybody. But I try to help where I can. But I definitely agree. There is money there if people really want it.
Right. So what is the dollar conversion compared to our dollar?
So 2 to 1. So your dollar goes further. That was another thing. They speak English. So like the stop sign says stop, and then it says alto. So alto, Spanish is the second language. So if something costs $4 in the United States, it would cost $8 here.
Oh, okay.
So
Perfect. Okay.
Go ahead.
So what about, so you said, okay, well, of course, everybody doesn't live in a hut. People live in civilized communities. So how is that with your neighborhood? Do your neighbors look like you, or is it a mix of different people?
That's a really funny question. So it's from an American perspective, especially coming from San Diego, which is a big mixing pot. It's a lot of everybody there. For me, when I look around, it's like Mexican and Black. You're Mexican, you're Black, but it's not. They're all Belizean, but you have some people that have more of the Mestizos, the Mayan side, and some Belizeans that have more of the Creole, more of the Garifuna, which were direct from slavery. So you have people that look like me, and then you have people who look like a regular Hispanic, and they may speak English, they may speak Spanish, they may speak English and Spanish and Mayan and Creole and and so it's, it just shows you how small your box is, or when you come from America, because, my husband sometimes when he's here, he'll like, so are you Guatemalan? And I'm like, that's actually really racist, because just because they look Mexican doesn't automatically mean they're not Belizean. Doesn't mean that, because there's a lot of Guatemalans here, people from Nicaragua, people from Ecuador. They come here because I guess the economy is better, and so they look, for work. And so a lot of times, or he used to automatically assume that somebody with Hispanic-looking skin was not a Belizean. I was like, that's not cool. Stop getting in a taxi and asking everybody that question.
Well, it's all an experience, and it's a wonderful thing. Well, that's wonderful for your children. So let's get into it now. So you mentioned your son going to school with the gun. Now, are they
toy gun? Toy gun.
With the toy gun. I imagine it being green, the toy gun. So are the children homeschooled, or what are they doing?
They're homeschooled now. We tried, when we first got here, they were homeschooled, and we really wanted them to get acclimated better to the Belizean lifestyle and make friends and yada, yada, yada. They don't have to worry about vaccines here. They do vaccinate here, but it's not mandatory like it is in California. And so we wanted them to get in there and just, mix in, intermingle, and blend in, and stop standing out like sore thumbs. And so I didn't like it. Well, the school that I picked, I didn't like. I felt that, and this is pretty unanimous across the board with public schools, and the States and here. I won't say that it's like exclusive to here, but their ability to teach to an appropriate standard, I didn't agree with. So, that's me looking at my son being able to advance and succeed in a global market. The education wasn't suitable for a global, it wasn't suitable for somebody who wants to go on or will potentially go on to other things. So I was having to do a lot of subsidizing at home. And for me, it didn't make sense that I had to send him to school, pay into your system, abide by your rules, buy him uniforms, do all this stuff, and then still have to come home and do so much extra work at home. I was like, I might as well just keep it at home. So, we've sent, there are other schools, there are private schools here. There are international schools here, but I don't have $6,000 to drop on tuition. You know, I've got 2 of them, so they're still homeschooled, but I'm always, pre-COVID, I was looking for other options and opportunities to send them to school. But I would still like them to integrate. You know, we moved here not to be Americans who live in a foreign country. We moved here because we blend in. And, you know, it's like there's a lot of places you can go to get out of Babylon. You can go where you stick out. You can go where you blend in. I want to blend in. You know, I want to pick up my Creole and stuff like that. And I want, when you walk down the street, you look good. Y'all see any Americans around here? No. You know?
I get it. I totally get it. Well, congratulations on your migration and living your best life where you are. Because, you know, like I said, some of us, we're like, ooh, how do we get to where you are? And hopefully you will help us. So let's talk about you being a Proverbs 31 woman with all that you do. So you are an author, you're a virtual assistant, you're a parent. So let us know about these coloring books and these books that you've actually created. The three little Hebrew boys and the big bad wolf. This is a new publication, correct?
December, the very, very end of December, it published.
Okay.
So yeah, relatively new.
Okay, tell us about that project and how it came about and what it is about.
So this project was kind of like the breakthrough of my depression. So when we moved here, my husband is still in the States because we haven't quite negotiated all the pieces and parts for us to be financially stable enough for him to leave. Well, financially stable enough for us to be comfortable to where we want him to leave. And just being in a foreign country, no family, no friends, just, you know, and my dad had died, you know, a couple years prior. So just all of that. And I was just depressed and I was in my bed and it was rough on our marriage because it was, you know, it was new. There's no, I'm not a military wife. So it's not like, you know, I got into the thing and I was, you know, planning it, or it was just rough. And so I wasn't really on Facebook at the time. And so then I finally got on Facebook and started making some friends. And, you know, there was a couple of individuals that really helped me pull out of my depression. And then the sister who helped me publish my book, who owns I Am Media Publishing Group, she was really pushing me. She's like, you know, you need to write a book. Have you ever thought about it? And, you know, on and on and on. I was like, yeah, I used to write all the time. And she's like, you should publish a book. And I was like, you know, you're right. And then one night I was trying to sleep and ideas kept coming and I'm still trying to sleep and ideas are coming and ideas are coming. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna get up and write them down. And in 17 minutes, I wrote the book. That was the easy part. That was by far the easiest part. Then came trying to find an illustrator and that whole struggle. So I think I wrote the book in 2019 and it didn't get published. 2018, and it didn't get published to almost 2020. It was just that long of a process between trying to find an illustrator, getting the book laid out and everything. We actually, IME actually published 8 authors. It was 8 authors in 8 months. So I kind of got placed somewhere further down in the pipeline. But yeah, that's where Three Little Hebrew Boys came from. Some of the reasons why I wrote this particular book was you don't see a lot of, there are a few out there, but you don't see our culture in literature. I wanted something for my children. You know, you've got YouTube, there's several YouTube channels out there, Little Isaac or IUIC Watch and Read, The Kingdom something. So there's a few out there that produce videos or cartoons or content for our children. But then where is the literature outside of the Bible, you know? And I don't subscribe to, you know, images of, you know, Yeshua or God, whether Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever color you want. I don't subscribe to that. So it's not like I can get him a children's Bible, right? Because they all have those images, which I'm working on. I'm working on somewhere long down the road will be a children's Bible stories. So it's like I wanted them to be able to see themselves in literature. And I wanted something for little boys because I find that even though Black children's literature is a marginalized, area, I find that there's more girl books than there are little boy books, positive boy books. So it was important to also create a boy book as well.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what I have. That's what's behind me. And then that's what I have here.
Okay. Now, how did you go about finding your illustrator? Because that is difficult.
I thought it would be easy, I'm cheap and I'm broke, so that played a role. I started with looking on, what is it?
Fiverr?
Fiverr. I started looking on Fiverr, and you get on Fiverr and you ask somebody, yeah, I've got this children's book, and you're all like riled up. You're like, yeah, and we're gonna publish this book, and it's such and such page, and they're like, that's $230 per page, and you're like looking at your pages, and you realize you got 26 of them. You're like, I can't afford you. So there was a lot of that. The other thing was running into illustrators that a lot of them are in other countries. The cheaper ones, the ones that I could afford, were in other countries. And when you ask them, first thing I say, can you draw Black characters? And I guess I should have been more specific, was can you draw Black, so-called Black features? Because they'll draw something and throw brown paint on it. Like, look, I drew a Black person. And you're like, those nips, those lips, those nose, those ears, those eyes do not belong on a Black character. And so I paid for a couple of people to illustrate some things, and I was like, no, sorry, it's just not working. But I really wanted an Israelite illustrator. Like, as I've grown into this field, it bothers me to my soul, but I find Black authors who write Black children's books for a marginalized group, right, go out and get non-Black illustrators to illustrate their Black book that's, for like, we're marginalized, so here's a book for marginalized people, but I'm not going to support the marginalized illustrators. So I don't know, for me, it bothered me. Even as I tried it again, because I have 2 new books that I'm trying to produce, and I tried it again, I threw myself out there, and I was just like, it just bothers me to my soul. And so anyways, I was shooting stuff out there on Facebook. I was asking around. I finally found one guy, Isaiah Brown. He does Black Bible comics, a great guy. And he shot me to his friend Taja. And Taj is the one who ended up being my illustrator. And for me, it was important because, like, this is a book that the Almighty gave me. And the only way that's going to be blessed is that if I do it on the Almighty's terms. So I wanted an illustrator that when I said, don't work on the Sabbath, he wouldn't work on the Sabbath. Like, I don't work on my books on the Sabbath, even though people's like, oh, it's of God. And it's like, yeah, but it's like, I'm trying to make money off of this. So I really wouldn't, like, if I wrote shalom on doormats, I'm not gonna be like, well, it says shalom, so it's biblical. So, so for me, I wasn't gonna do it. So, that really became important. So I've actually found there's a group too. There's a group called something, but it's got a bunch of Israelite illustrators in there. But I found another young lady who's going to be working on a positive hair affirmations book for me. So I'm happy because, I get to support my people. And that's one of the things in my business model. And that's one of the things I always tell people with their Israelite businesses. Grow your business. Grow your business as big as you possibly can. Have a mindset to be $1 million company. I think from just everything that we've been through as a people mentally without even realizing it, we are demoralized and we have low self-esteem and we just don't think that we can do it. And so we open up this business and we call it a side hustle, but a white person calls it they call it another job or an alternate source of income. But why does ours have like this negative, connotation to it? And it's like, your business is as legitimate as anybody else's. So grow it. And when you grow it, you're able to fulfill the scripture that says, let not every man look on his own things, but look on the things of others. Let not every man look on his own money, Not let not every man think on his, anyways, you know what I'm saying? Let not every man look on his own things, but on the things of others. And when you do that, you're able to employ our people. And so to find Israelite illustrators to be able to work on an Israelite project, like to me, that's like, you can't get any better than that.
Right.
And to have an Israelite publishing company.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the term side hustle has become so popular. It's just like a trending thing. But if you look at us in history, we've always had to do these businesses. I mean, I won't even call them hustles. We've had to do these things because we have been criminalized. So there you couldn't go out and get this corporate job making all this money. So you had to do things. You had to be the inventor. You had to still, bring the food home to your family. So we've always done these things. And it's become popularized being a side hustle. And that word, what I think is because people are afraid of failure. So you won't call it your main thing. You'll call it your side thing. So if your side thing fails, you don't have to be accountable to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what it is. But me, I'm like, do it to the fullest. Whatever it is that you're doing, don't call it side hustle. This is part of my business. What do you do? I do many things, and you just put it out there like that. Which brings me to your other thing here. You're also a virtual assistant. Tell us about that.
So through the years of just, being a mom, being a wife, we used to have a moving company when we were in San Diego called Heritage Nation Hauling. And so just from all the things that I picked up, for me, it was an obvious choice to be for virtual assistants because I have the skill sets, I have all the abilities. So I don't focus so much on that right now. I mean, if somebody comes to me, depending on what it is, I may accept the job, but I'm really focused on branding. I got a pep talk from my mom the other day, and she was like, give it all you got, baby. So I just really have to be focused on, at least giving my book a year, at least giving this author thing like a good solid year, just like a genuine push. So I don't even count my year from December because I kind of like published a book and I was like, all right, Almighty, you wrote the book, here you go. And I just expected it to like fly off the shelves and it didn't do that. So I kind of got depressed. But since June, I've been like, really pushing my book hard. And from the moment that I made up my mind that I was going to push this thing, like I've watched the doors just kind of open. I've done like 3 or 4 interviews since then. I've had numerous amounts of sales, where in the beginning I had like 1 or 2 sales, So like I said, I'll take a job depending on what it is. Sometimes I do like little advertisements here or there, if you are following me on any of my social media, all the little advertisements that I put out, I solicit those to other people. Mm-hmm. But I really want to just be, my mom, this is what she said, whenever I get off track, she's going to do this to me. This is my laser focus. Mm-hmm. I have to be laser focused on my book and stop letting my mind, wander off all the other things I like to do.
Well, that's understandable as a creator. Sometimes we get into those things and it's good that you have your mother to help you focus. Because then it helps you sleep at night as well, because, creators, sometimes we don't go to sleep right away. We're always going. I understand.
So, I call her my momager, my mom manager, my momager.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. So now what we need to do is, one, we're going to need to make sure that you connect with WONI, because we also have a marketplace to where you can share what it is that you're doing and other Israelites can purchase from you, as well as those people that you have used for the production of your book. We would like to have that information as well. So we'll talk about that later. But is there a way that if someone wants to purchase your book or solicit services from you for virtual work, how would they go about getting a hold of you?
Through my social media. So I have a website for the book. It's DEUT 6 and 4 FOUR.com. So which is Hero Israel, our Lord is one Lord. So they can contact me through the website. My social medias are Ketura Rena on Facebook, author.Ketura Rena on Instagram, or I also have a Facebook page for my virtual assistant. It's Ketura Rena, the affordable VA. Dang, I forgot it. VA on Facebook, or Three Little Hebrew Boys and the Big Bad Wolf on Facebook. I'm out there, y'all. Y'all can find me.
Perfect. Well, I am so happy to have found you because you are a wealth of knowledge and information, and our people need to know. I mean, just the fact that you live overseas, that's a big step. You know, a lot of people have not even been out of the country. So to know that one of our people have made it out and they're thriving. You may not have every single thing that you want, but just that mental peace that some of us don't have over here in the United States, I think that that's beautiful. So let me ask you, Sister Keturah, do you have anything else that you want to share with our listening audience or our viewing audience, I should say?
Just to what I'm learning, what I'm trying to learn, what I am going to learn, right? Positivity is to push through your own blocks. Pretty much in life and everything that we do, we will probably be our biggest critic. We will probably be our worst enemy, and we will probably be our greatest opposition. And to allow yourself the space to shut out all the negativity, shut yourself out, and give yourself freedom to succeed. You know, don't tell yourself that you can't do it. Tell yourself that you will do it, you know, and just focus on being successful, because you can do it. It's in all of us, the human body, the human brain. Yah's people, we are amazing, we are gifted, and we are talented. And to walk into your talents and believe in yourself and have faith, because when you're not believing in the talents that Yah put in you, right, that's a lack of faith. Because Yah's like, look, I done gave you all these things, like, come on, what you gonna do with them? So we gotta have faith that we can do all things through the Creator who gave us these wonderful gifts.
That is absolutely the word right there. And I'll say hallelujah. Well, we definitely thank you. And we look forward to connecting with you. And if you come up with any more things, feel free to reach out. We'll do more interviews. We'll promote it. If your children create things, yes, we will definitely make sure that we, you know, we get them promoted. So let them know one more time how to reach out to you.
Ketura Rena on Facebook, author.Ketura Rena on Instagram, Three Little Hebrew Boys and the Big Bad Wolf on Facebook, or Ketura Rena, the Affordable VA on Facebook.
Perfect. Well, shalom, sis. We definitely appreciate you and we support you and we are praying for you. May Yah bless you in all of your endeavors, okay?
Thank you. And likewise, thank you for giving me space and opportunity to run my mouth. As you can see, I like to talk.
Good, I need that. Thank you all for joining us for WONI Radio Community Focus. My name is Sister Sisi. Thank you, guys.
Shalom.
Okay. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here trying to figure out how to cut it off.